Hot dog, Mike.
I was wondering what you were going to start out with. Hey, it's Mitch, it's Mike, it's the Mitch and Mike voiceover journey. And today we got a treat for you because for the first time ever on the show, we are talking to an actual real live voiceover talent agent, the
Oh,
one
Oh,
and only
scary.
Tanya Buchanan of Tada. How are you, Tanya? And
Hi.
Tanya, what's the true?
Yeah, I don't even pronounce my name right. I'm honest. My mom says Tanya, which is like an in between
Uh,
Tanya and Tanya. I say
yeah.
Tanya. There
okay.
you go.
Okay.
Can we just call you Tanene and leave it
Yeah,
there?
sounds
Okay.
Oh,
perfect. Or
a
just
new
T.
one. T? That's fine. Um, I don't want anyone to talk right now other than me because I need to tell you, Tanya, it's been so cool being part of your roster. Anyone listening, I don't want you to get a flood of emails, Tanya, but
You probably will.
uh I don't know how to put it. I feel like I'm in good hands. I'm so pumped. Like everyone you've had working for you is like the most pleasant person, including yourself, and you're always there. I wish every agency could work like you, you and your team. Um, so thank you. That's the best I got is thank you. You're awesome, and you're just a great person.
Oh, what a way to start
I
things.
had to
Checks in the
start that way.
mail. Checks in the
Yeah.
mail.
Well, I gotta get a job first. No.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, yeah, checks in the mail. That's a good thing, right? When an agent says the checks in the mail.
Not when it's coming from Canada Mail or whatever. When it's not.
But yeah, Canada Post is on strike.
Wah wah.
Wah, wah.
But that's how I start. Mike has a different way to start, so I'll sit back and relax now.
Well, first of all, yeah, by the time you're watching this, the World Series will be over, and the Los Angeles Dodgers will be the world champions yet again. But we do have a rivalry going on, yeah, in the room, because Tanya is a big Toronto Blue Jays fan, being from the Canada there, eh? But me originally being from LA, I had to throw on my colors as well. So we shall see. Game 3 is being played as we record this in LA, and so we'll see what happens. So, but yeah, we'll have to. Maybe we should have like some kind of side bet. We'll get to that. I don't want to talk about that now, but maybe
Ooh.
towards the end of the show, we'll talk about maybe having some
Ooh, I
kind of
love
side
that.
bet.
That's fun.
Yeah, I know what I want. The Dodgers win. I
Oh,
get signed by Tada.
that's like that's putting unders. Yeah, that's
I just want cash, dude.
Good luck. No, but I mean, so we have again. I mean, we have a different dynamic here, right? I mean, we have creatives on all the time. We obviously we interview a lot of voice actors, and because that's what we do, and that's kind of what our podcast is about. But we've had other creatives, audio drama writers and creators. On-screen actors. We interviewed our favorite board game designer once a few months ago, and that
that
was
was
great.
awesome.
But this is the first time we've interviewed an agent, and so I'm very interested to hear your story because that's kind of what this is all about, your journey, how you got to where you are, and I'm interested to hear from you about how you got into this crazy world of being an agent in entertainment. So
It is
start
a
back, hop in the Wayback Machine, if you would, and
God.
just take us back to when little Tanya had ideas and aspirations to make it big in the world of entertainment.
I wanted to be a movie star my entire like when I was little. Everybody said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a movie star. Did acting like all growing up, musical theater, all that sort of stuff. And being an agent really was not something I ever. Who knows? Nobody says when they're little, "I want to be an agent." And even when I was older, I didn't think of that. Didn't think it was really crazy how I crossed over because I actually was a voice talent myself for almost 25 years, maybe.
When was that? Can you tell us the years, like the time gap?
Age wise or
No,
years
Time frame,
wise?
years.
like
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
We don't need to do ages here, right?
That would
I
have
mean,
been,
Mitch is still in his 30s, so he doesn't care. But some of us who are a little older in the room probably don't want to say.
I started in voiceover in 1991. It would have been, I believe, 1991, 92, somewhere around there.
So definitely still going into studio time.
Oh gosh, yeah. And I
Yeah.
remember we used to, you put your demo, at least I had mine on a tape, and you'd go
Uh,
around to all the studios and you'd drop them off. And I used to always like try and put little goodies with them and all, still, similar, but, way before the internet.
so back when
Uh,
back when they called it a reel because it was a reel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh gosh, crazy times of that. And it was way smaller. I mean, the business was just so small. But I came to it from radio. So I was in radio. So was doing voiceover kind of. And I'd always be in the production studio at the radio station. That was what I enjoyed more than anything else. So that sort of was the progression of me left radio, always doing voiceover, like had other jobs, but always doing voiceover on the side, sometimes full time. Then we know how it goes. Then you got to get a real job to pay for stuff and then go back to full time. But I think I went full time 2003 when my daughter was born,
Wow.
around there. I went full time. Uh,
What
did
was your
that for a little
niche?
while.
Like,
Commercial.
yeah.
I didn't. I did a lot of non-broadcast. For some reason, I got hired a lot as the nurse, giving you injections, giving you, telling you about this disease you just got. You just got cancer. So what do you do now? All of
Oh,
those videos I did.
soothing.
Yeah, I did. But I also did promo. I did TV promo. I was the voice for City TV here in Toronto, and Treehouse, which was another kids, which was great when my daughter was growing up because mommy was always on the kids channel all the time,
Oh, that's a dream right there.
Yeah, but then and then I did TV shows, all kind of announcery type stuff. Never was really into animation or anything risky. It was riskier. It was all
Is
very
that
pretty.
risky?
Risky. Risque, not risque.
No
Right,
There's
right.
nothing
difference. Yeah, there's a big
risque.
Yeah.
difference on where you put that emphasis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, born and raised in Canada, always been in Canada, or
No, North Carolina girl. I was born in
ah,
Goldsboro, North Carolina. I'm a dual citizen, but I've been in Canada since I was little. Parents separated and wanted to get away from each other, as far away as possible.
another
That's
country
far.
far
Different
away. Yeah, wow.
countries.
Right.
So went back and forth as a kid. Lots of flights under my belt by the time I was like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but raised in Vancouver on the West Coast, and went to
Gorgeous.
Toronto about 25 years ago and been in Toronto ever since. Headed
Man.
back to Goldsboro for Thanksgiving this year.
Well, hey, yeah, because
I
Thanksgiving that's an American holiday. What do you do something though? Is it like Boxing
We have
Day or something like
Thanksgiving.
that? You do have
Thanksgiving, yeah, it was
Thanksgiving?
a couple
Okay,
weeks
Yeah,
ago.
but it's in October.
there you go. Yeah, see, that's my
We
ignorance.
just had
You
it.
just had it. Hey, 2 Thanksgivings in a year. Nice.
We
Kind
worked
of
on
like
that
being a
day.
child of divorced parents.
Yeah.
It
So I want to know. Okay.
sounds like a serious question.
It's not really. No, no, no. Because we kind of skipped past. You always wanted to be an actor. You always wanted to be a performer
In entertainment, yeah.
in
In some way,
entertainment.
yeah.
Okay. Where did you? What did that mean in your child eyes? Because I was like Jim Carrey as a kid. I thought I would be smoking. I don't know why I thought I could just quote Jim Carrey and be an actor, but uh, how
You
did
know,
that actually look?
as I got older, I was more into theater.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I would if I'd ever gone the, TV movie route. I'm sure I wouldn't have said no.
Right.
But just found more, I liked the instant feedback, so to speak, that you get with a live audience. Love doing that. But quite honestly, nothing like I love doing it to an extent, but when I look back on it, I can say, I knew it wasn't my passion. Like, I didn't want, like, I always say to people, when you know it's your passion, you will do whatever you can. You'll move mountains to do whatever you want to do. I don't know. I knew I kind of wanted to be in the entertainment business, and all you knew as a kid is being a movie star. Nobody knows the other parts of it, kind of thing. So it
Yeah.
wasn't until I got older and then I was like, okay, radio was more my thing. Nobody has to look at me, but I can still, entertain people. So moved into and weirdly, I actually went to school to university to be an accountant. So that's an even weirder thing.
Yeah, I
But
want to
that's
be in
because,
entertainment, so I'm going to learn about numbers.
Yeah.
right.
You're
Well,
crunching some numbers now.
I just didn't want to be poor. I was
There's
like,
that. Yeah, that's a good
I knew if I was
aspiration.
going to go entertainment, I was going to be poor. But then I was like, you know what? Give up on that. I'm going to be an accountant. Realized very quickly, I worked at an accounting firm and I was the receptionist there. And I liked taking people's calls more than anything else because I could
Yeah.
chat and talk. And, hi, how are you doing today? I'm like, don't know if I'm really suited for accounting. So flipped over to radio and stuck in entertainment
All right, so you
and
did
being broke.
radio for a little while, and you
Yeah.
you said you liked being in the booth and recording the commercials and stuff for the radio, and so that pushed you into wanting to. And then you said when your daughter was born, about 2003, you decided to give voiceover a go full time, and that
Hmm.
was back in the days of in studio stuff. Um, Was there anything in particular that you can tell us? Yeah, my coolest and best job was X.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah.
yeah.
My cool. I don't know where that
But
came
did you
from.
do
Oh,
some of that there?
yeah.
Or did you have to do some regional stuff there in the Canada?
No, I was the voice of Air Canada for 8 years,
Oh
and
my.
I went in every month for 8 years. Every month, religiously, went in and recorded for Air Canada for 8 years. Sweet gig, loved it. Fun, works, easy, good money, great gig.
Regular
This
gigs or good
sounds
um,
gigs?
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then there was a fellow in Toronto, very well known on TV here. His name was Mark Daly and worked for City TV. Um, you know, he's since passed, but he had such a personality and he did all the promo work, the TV promo work for City TV, which is one of the big channels in Toronto. And I got hired as his backup. That was my thing, is when he would go on vacation, I got to fill in as the promo girl for that station. So I always love to say that I was Mark Daly's backup. Probably
That's
those are the
sweet, dude.
two. But this leads really well into, because there were TV promo jobs, there were every genre that I really wanted to get in, and sort of the jobs that I wanted, I kind of had done. And so that's when, for me, voiceover, I was like, what else? Like, I didn't really have anything else that I wanted to accomplish other than when I first got into voiceover. I wanted to be Randy Thomas. I was like, I want to be the voice of the Oscars. I had it
Hmm.
on every vision board, everything else. But on a day-to-day basis, all the auditions that I was doing, they weren't really, I was bored. It wasn't challenging for me anymore. There wasn't any. So then, thus comes the jump over to being an agent,
All
because
right.
what I decided was more fun, and I was starting to do a little bit of casting. I was doing a ton of mentoring because at that point I'd been in the business for quite a while, and I was like, you know, mentoring people, telling them how to do about that was way more exciting to me than going and doing another voiceover audition. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, what can I do other than coaching and those kind of things? What can I do that's on that side of it? And so that was the sort of the little thing that sat with me for a few years before I actually made the jump. But I was like, what can I do in this business to give back, to do more, to because I just get so excited seeing people like grow and do better and
Yeah.
be a part of their dreams, being doing something to make, so that really excited me. And then that's when I knew that I'd kind of like, okay, I knew I love voiceover, but it wasn't quite there. Like it just, that wasn't my dream. What was it? So it wasn't until I was 40, I guess, before I realized, yeah, that's what I want to do when I
So
grow
now,
up.
did you at that point, after those 2 years of contemplating, did you like get a job with an agency, or did you immediately say, I'm going to start my own agency?
This is one of the and I've used this when I've spoken to, been a guest on different things about talking about seeing a sign and just going for things. And this is the craziest story of how it actually happened was I was doing an Air Canada session in a studio and they had a little side office that they rented out and there was nobody in there. And usually there was somebody in there. And I said to the producer, I said, "Hey, are you guys renting that out?" And they're like, "Yeah, are you interested?" And I went, "Yeah." And I went, "Hold on, what am I need? What do I need an office
Yoga or
for?"
something? Yeah.
And then I said yes before, and then I was like, maybe this is when I start an agency. So I actually got an office before I even knew what I was doing with the
Dang.
office.
Put
But
the
it was
cart
like
before the
that.
horse.
This had been percolating for 2 years. I'd been doing a ton of research. So there was 2 years where I was looking at different markets, looking at different agencies. What do they do? What do they do? What do they do? And I was like, still like, and it was really the office space that I was like, maybe this is some sort of sign to say, stop researching and just do it. Go for it and just like jump out of. So I literally got the office, and within probably a couple of weeks, I had an agent, of course, and I went to my agent and I said, not only am I leaving you, but I'm starting up
I
a
need
competing
advice.
agency.
Oh boy.
I
That was
need
an
advice on
interesting
how to be your
conversation.
competitor.
Yeah, how'd
Yeah.
that go?
We are still friends to this day. He
Well,
was
that's
he was so great about it. He's like, I knew somebody was going to start another agency in our market, and I'm glad it's you. He knew I was going to do it in a ethical way and not be, I don't know, I was going to say a not so nice word, but not so I have to watch my mouth on these kind of things, don't
No,
I?
you sure don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you can do the beep 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 on
Nope,
me,
we'll just
right?
leave it.
no.
Yeah, no,
Mitch
we're gonna
like
leave it.
Mitch likes to uh drop a non sequitur here and there.
What?
And we've had yeah we've
We're
had
adults here. We
I
can
know we are,
swear.
yeah.
Come on.
So go ahead, drop one.
Yeah, drop.
Go ahead.
Drop
Okay, I
it.
Go
was
ahead.
not going to be a douchebag like some of the agents out there. That wasn't as bad
That's
as you thought.
no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's mid range.
Um, I so yeah, and then I had that conversation. I started the agency with 10 women and 10 men. That was it. And it was just me on my own. And unlike a lot of agents, I came to, and that's why I thought we'd be different, is because I came to it from the voice actor's perspective as opposed to the business perspective.
Yeah.
So I knew as a voice actor myself what I wanted in an agent. I'd had a ton of agents over the years. So I knew kind of what I liked, what I didn't like, and so formed the agency on that basis. So it kind of just moved in that direction, and it kind of still does. Like I still feel for, like, I know what you guys go through when you're maybe doing a ton of auditions and not booking anything, and I've gone through those periods. I've done that kind of thing. And also I make all the decisions from the agency from that perspective, not from the how can I make more money perspective, which is much to my husband's chagrin. He's like, can we go back to and I'll be honest, I made way more as a voice talent than I did as an agent. So he kept going, can we go back to when you worked less and you made more money? I was like, yeah, no. But it still felt like agency's been going for, I don't know, what, 16, 17 years. And I'm still excited about it. So that's when I knew that this was my thing.
Well,
do you
that's
find
good.
do you find yourself, because you are a nurturer, and I can feel that. I can feel that with your employees. Like I said, like it's just a great workspace. Do you find yourself tipping sometimes where it's like hard to hang on to that dream you once had? Now that you're growing, you're not 10 and 10. You have out of country, obviously, you have people who speak different languages.
Mm-hmm.
I think other people are in the UK, am I wrong? Or like in
Yeah, we've
Europe?
got UK, Korea, Italy, India, all over the
Yeah.
place now.
Do
We're over
is
a
it
hundred.
okay? Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of growth. Do you find yourself having trouble keeping it within the boundary of nurturing and everything the more you grow?
That's a really
Are
good
there
question.
struggles there?
I find that I like to keep my hands in it and still be, we have, as you know, Mitch, we have monthly meetings that I have on Zoom with all the talent so that I can still have that, face to face. It's really, we can't shake hands anymore and all that stuff, but it's some sort of little face to face, but also make sure that the team that I build around me has that same nurturing sort of that I know my talent are in good hands. That the way that I am is reflected in them as well. One thing I always said from the very beginning, I knew I would get bigger eventually, more than 10 and 10. But I said the growth would come with more um, staff. I guess I hate calling my staff because that just sounds weird, but with more people so that you would always have that one to one, that sort of management style. If we were to get to, although I feel like I don't want to grow much more than where we are in terms of numbers, there's many other things you can do to grow success wise. But, from 10, maybe we move to 50, and then I brought on another agent, and 50 moves to 100, and then I brought on another person. And so that was my way of still keeping that sort of hands-on management style, because it's the last thing. It was so important to me to not be another agency that you feel like a number. You're just a
Mm.
number. That was one thing I hated about being a talent. It's like, oh, they don't even know my name. Like,
Yeah.
so it was really important to me.
Okay.
Well, that's good. And
And
that's one of the things I was going to ask is you mentioned when you started this agency, right? Coming from the world of voiceover, being a voice actor, there was a lot of things that you pulled into and wanted to uh, that you wanted from an agent when you were a talent. And you've already mentioned a couple of what are some of those things that uh, you were like when I start this, because I'm sure you made a list. You seem like the type of person who was like, all right,
you
my
seem like a
agency's going to
list
have
maker.
these 18 things, right? So what are some of those things that
Let me pull out my business plan.
there you go. Yeah.
Well, the one-on-one like attention, both to talent and to clients, was really important to me. That they feel like you're a person, not it's not business to business, it's not, number to agent, that it's also viewed as a partnership. There are so many agents out there, not even agents, but just you really have to have that you give and I give and we do this together kind of feeling. As soon as you put one above the other, like you're agent, you work for me, or I'm an agent and you're the talent and you work for me, that sort of thing really I think can affect um, so many things, but how you run the agency, how your partnership, so that was important. It was super important that I knew that I tried to tell all my talent that we are a partnership. I will put in this work and you're going to put in this work and we're going to do this together and make you a star, as they say. Now I just need a cigarette hanging out of my mouth. I'm going
Yeah.
to make you a
Yeah.
star,
You're gonna
A
be a
big star.
beehive
You've
hairdo and the
got the
giant
look.
glasses.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna
right?
get you a job. You're gonna be big. You're gonna be big.
Never heard a voice like yours before.
Yeah.
Always reminds me of from Friends, Joey's agent. Oh
Yeah.
my
Oh
God.
yeah. uh,
Yeah.
He had it
Um,
all though.
yeah. Well,
He
hey,
he
Joey was
could
in
get
an
those
ad for
jobs.
gonorrhea, so I mean, he really made it
True.
big.
True. Yeah. We all hope. We can all hope.
so I'll put that on my list for you, Mitch. He wants to do ads.
For
If I
for
can help people,
STDs. Yeah.
okay. If I can help.
Yeah. Hey, public service. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure we're 25 minutes into this, and I'm sure anybody listening, any voice talent listening, is going ask her the questions about from our side of the spectrum. So, as an agent working with talent, looking for those things, what are those things you as an agent are looking for in a voice in voice talent who come to
You're going
you
to
and
be
say, "Please sign me."
surprised. You will be surprised because it's not necessarily what you think, all of it. Obviously, I want talent. Like you have to be talent, have some kind of talent. But that's a given, right? It doesn't even have to be. It's not having a nice voice. That has zero part of it anymore. People used
Right.
to be that, you couldn't hire anybody who had a lisp or didn't sound, that's 0 point. Um, from a bigger
I actually saw a
perspective,
commercial with someone with a lisp earlier today. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, that's pretty
It's
cool.
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
anything that sounds different is in right now. So that leads, so, and it changes all the time. This is what's so, if you asked me this question even just 2 years ago, it'd be completely different than what I'd say now. Now it's all about sounding different, and having range, right? Like it, particularly for me, I need somebody who can do more than just one thing. Because I have a smaller roster, believe it or not, than a lot. Like a lot of the US agents have 700, 800 on their roster. Because I have a smaller basket that I'm selling from, I need to make sure that my talent can do multiple things, not just have one read. So it's one of the first things when I get a demo I listen to. And a lot of us, well, as agents, you skip through, right? So I'll skip through and go, okay, no, I can do that. Okay, what else can he do? Okay, what else can he do? Okay, what else can he do? Right? So that's really important. But the one that's surprising is, do I feel like this person is going to give me as much as I give them, and that is going to pay attention to details, and is going to be somebody I want to form a partnership with. I look at it from literally from a high view. If I was to merger my company with this company, is this somebody that I'd want to work with? Because there are certain people that could have all of the, and this has happened, all of the talent. They got great reads and stuff like that, but we just don't gel. And it could be from a personality perspective. It could be from they're not putting in enough effort in perspective. It could be in that they don't follow directions perspective, that kind of thing. So I actually look at that from the minute that you reach out to me as an agent. I'm actually looking more at stuff. Did you spell my name right? Did you actually say dear sir instead of use my name?
Yeah.
Did you, check out did you do any research and look at who I am? Because if you want to join my roster, again, we're looking at a partnership. So don't you want to know who I am and what I'm about and those kind of things? So the first things I'm looking for, and I always say the little tidbit hint, is mention something about my agency, mention something about the roster, mention something. Hey, I heard Mitch's demo and I heard so and so's demo, and I feel like I could be somewhere in between that and I could serve you well by doing that. Something to show me, as opposed to here's my demo, add me to your roster. Delete.
You're making me think
Is
about how terrible my email might have been. Like, hi, I was
Somehow
like
you
so
saw
scared
something
back
in
then.
Mitch that, in spite of his genericness, you said, I
Yeah.
want to work with this guy.
Hi, I'm Mitch. Yeah, yeah.
It also helps knowing that you guys being with GVAA and I do workouts there, is that you are putting the time in, the effort in, and even the money in to further your career says a lot to me. So people who do GVAA and the workouts and stuff like that, that goes a long way with me, because again, it shows you're putting in the effort, and I need to see that people are going to put the effort in and not just sit back on their couch and wait for me to send them stuff, because that just doesn't work anymore.
Man, I want to do I can't wait till I can get a couch mic and just sit there with my chippies and wait for the auditions to come in.
Yeah. When they
That's
just
the
start.
next investment.
Yeah. When you
Oh,
have
I
to
had
start
one
turning
girl
them
who
down
said
because
she
they're coming in so frequent.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
she said she only wanted to work on Mondays and Wednesdays between 2 and 5. Didn't want to edit her auditions or do anything like that. I was to do that, and that's just how it works for her. Now she booked a lot and was one of my star talent. But guess who's not on my roster anymore? Because that only goes so far. And when, I don't, again, it comes to somebody I want to work with. And that was there's been a couple like that over the years that have been really tough, where I had to make the money decision versus the, other,
Headache.
money slash other. My,
Is
no,
it
you know what?
worth? Yeah. Is it worth the headache?
Right. money. I was just about to say that, money versus sanity, right? And
Hmm.
this talent just drove me crazy. And every day I'd come home, come home when we had an office. I'd come home and I'd say, oh, I can't stand this. My husband would say, just get rid of her. And I was like, but she books and she brings the agency money and da 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 da. And finally, it was actually a voice talent friend of mine who said, you know what, that money will come through somebody else or some other way, but your sanity and that, you need to take care of you first. Got rid of her and didn't really notice any difference in our numbers. So I guess that's a good thing, right? I didn't follow the money. I followed my heart.
Which led you to a sizable, beautiful roster.
Mm.
I always say I feel like they're my kids. I do. I just feel like, I'm proud of every single one of them. Well, most of them. Some of them still drive me crazy.
I'm always worried I'm that one. I don't know if it's like
Yeah.
only child. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah.
But
Mitch has anger
Yeah,
I'm
there
always
is
management.
the problem. There is usually one or two problem children, but most of them,
You
I'm
can talk to
very
me about Mitch off
protective.
air, Tanya.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me all about
Please, I just want to be better. I just want to. It's not always about you, Mitch. Is what I have to remind myself. Like you don't send the email. You're fine.
But I'm protective of my talent. I'm super protective. I'm super proud. I'm super like yeah, that probably gives, again, if we go back, that's why I wanted to be an agent. All of this you have to go back to, like, what is it that gives me joy? That gives me joy. It gives me joy seeing talent do well and book jobs. And there's still nothing better than calling, well, I guess we don't really call anymore, but emailing somebody and saying, hey, you got this huge job, right? And them getting so excited. Why I wake up in the morning.
I do like how be pretty cool is like one of the criteria. Because,
it.
of course, that's not always the case with working with somebody, but be pretty cool is nice. Like, I think,
We spend, okay, I spend definitely more time working than I do for myself just because I'm a bit of a workaholic, but I'm just because I love this. I'm so passionate about this business. Everything I do is about this business in some ways. Doing this, doing, GBAA stuff, doing, stuff outside, giving back to the community, all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're gonna, like, you gotta like the people you're working with and like what you're doing. If you don't, I don't know, life's too short to be working with jerks.
Yeah, we say that all the time about just about voiceover in general, where it's like if you don't like doing this, then why are you doing it? So you gotta like, because for most of us that aren't J. Michael Collins, this is not lucrative enough to be like
everything.
you've got to really love this to put and be passionate about it, to put the effort in, to make to hope for that big contract, but probably make a lot of little contracts that you're trying to piece together. Um, and so if you're not passionate about it, then what are you doing? And if you don't like the people you're working with, that, I mean, a lot of times we're stuck in a booth by ourselves, but like, with anything, you still have people you're associated with. And so to have that, to like the people you're associated with that are part of TDA and that are your clients and all of that, that, it's great to hear that you have that passion, that you do seem to really enjoy what you're doing. And I know, like, Mitch talks about you all the time, and how much he loves being on Tada because he likes the fact that you do have that hands-on and that you do have that passion. So
Yay.
Yeah,
yeah,
and I have met some jaded people in the industry. I was just thinking about that today, like, because there are hard times. And sometimes the hard time is I have too much work, and then sometimes the hard time is I'm listening to crickets. Like I'm in my booth and I can hear crickets in here, and that's like a metaphor and not a metaphor. But it I don't want to be snarky with people who are jaded because I've been at a jaded job before. But like Mike was saying, how sustainable is that? And do you think you could have sustained being a voice actor even though you started realizing maybe maybe I should be outside looking and nurturing talent? Like,
Yeah, I
um,
think I would have probably, like you're saying, I think I would have gotten snarky, like you say,
mm,
or resentful. And just for me, again, my poor husband. I like a challenge, and I don't want to be bored. And I think for me, if I looked back on it, I think I would have been bored.
Mm.
And that's where I started to get, and I don't want to ever be bored. I
So
want to
you got
always
out
challenge.
before you really hit that burnout.
Yeah.
You found a different passion to channel, and you shifted gears as opposed to hitting that wall where you didn't like doing this anymore, and I got to find something new. So the timing was right, and not. It sounds like the timing was good and not like I got to find something new, and you created this.
Yeah, this is like a therapy session, Mike. I think you're right. Let's really delve into
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tell us how you feel, Tanya, about how things
I
came
think
about.
you're right. It was right timing.
And I think what keeps the challenge for me is I always have imposter syndrome. So I just always assume that, like, I need to, everyone's up here, I'm right here. I just need to do my best. Like, I really need to hit this. I feel challenged all the time, even when it's on a read that, maybe I'm kind of, that's my cool guy read or whatever that you've heard 1,000 times. But yeah, you must have surpassed the imposter syndrome a little bit.
You know what I think though it is I don't think acting was ever my true calling or passion. And I
Mm.
think that that's why it burnt out early for me. Yeah, I think I was always destined to be something else. It was almost like the universe saying, this is not quite it for you, right? So I
Mm.
think that if it had been really it for me, I wouldn't have gotten bored. I wouldn't, I would have found a challenge in everything. I would have, it didn't work. It didn't, it was just so close, but just wasn't totally there. Now I feel totally there.
And how did that transition into you do coach at GVAA, and I believe you do other coaching as
hmm
well? When and how did that transition? And is that like as enjoyable as just being an agent and nurturing that way?
More. So actually, that is a recent thing, I would say in the last couple of years. I had a bit of a health scare and I sort of sat back down and I said, what is it that what's my joy? What do I really like? I felt like I'd gotten a little bit away from that um, because the day-to-day agency stuff can be very monotonous. It can be a lot of like paperwork, a lot of, that's a lot of what I do is accounting, contracts, stuff like that. Not the glamorous stuff. Booking jobs and listening to auditions is great, but there's such a huge amount of, especially being the owner of an agency, that is not that. So I said, if I was to take my job apart, what are the parts of the job that I like the most? And so when I looked at like, again, it seems to always go back to the what did I like is I like seeing people do really well and stuff like that. And I was like, I think coaching and being one on one with talent is actually where I get way more joy than anything else. Oh my gosh, when I hear somebody do a read and then I give them a little bit of feedback and they just knock it out of the park. Oh my God, that is just great. So it was only a couple of years ago that I said, I want to do less of the admin kind of minutia stuff
Hmm.
and I want to do more of the coaching stuff.
So did you already
Um,
know David or someone over there at GVAA, or how did you get hooked up with them?
I don't really remember how I got hooked up with them. I must have, I'm sure it was at an event of
Mm,
some sort. We met just through industry events and stuff like
there you
that. I
go.
must have met David. I initially met David Rosenthal and we just kept talking about what can we do together because we both, again, I think you sometimes meet people that you're supposed to and that you're aligned in the same, like both David and I, and David and I are good friends. Um, we both care so much about the industry and about talent and unfortunately, and money comes second, right? But everything we do is based on like that. And so we were like, we kept going, what can we do together? What can we do together? And we still do that. Every time we get together in LA, I'm like, what can we do? What else can we do together? Because I
Mm.
love surrounding myself with the same passionate people, right? So I think we probably met and he's like, okay, well, at least coach with us. And I was like, well, okay, sure.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Very cool. Very cool. So
Do
I'm
you
curious. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, Mitch.
okay.
I asked the
One
last one.
last
You
one.
asked this one. Okay.
One last one. Okay. I don't think I've ever asked a coach this. When you're coaching someone kind of new, can you get that feeling like, here we go, or like, I don't think so, bud? Like, can you get that feeling pretty early, or are you wrong often?
I'm never wrong. No kidding. I think one way or the other, I feel like I can feel it when it's really there, but I don't think I can feel it if it's really not there, because I think everybody with coaching, with a bunch of different things, I think everybody can get there. It's not, as long as they have the passion and want to do it. It's not like it was before where you would say no immediately because they have a lisp or anything like that. I think that,
We're really
to
beating
a
up
certain
lists
degree,
today.
most people, but I definitely can tell when I'm like, oh my God, this person is like a superstar. That and it gets me really excited. And I was like, oh my God, this person doesn't even know how good they are. But then I've been burned a couple of times with that too, because you can be like a superstar and be a jerk, which kind of takes you down, or not put in, know that you're a superstar and not put in the effort or the work, and then you become a diva and nobody wants to work with you, and that can destroy your career too. Or so many voice talent give up before they should, and I get it that it's a money issue. I totally get it. But I would say, I would almost go say the majority of people over the years that I've met who are voice talent give up before they actually should. They're at that right just before they're about to go over and actually make it. And too many people get stuck there and give up. And the people that I know that are the most successful in the business really have tenacity as their number one, thing, that they kept going when everybody else didn't, which sounds awful, because I really do feel people that have the biggest careers aren't necessarily the best talent. They really aren't. There are talent that I know they're way better than some talent that are making like hand over fist. But they've got the tenacity. They just keep going. They just keep going. They just keep going, no matter what, no matter how many no's, how many, how much, uh, crap food they had to eat because they couldn't afford anything else. They just kept going. And I think you would say that with anything, if you really wanted to get to the night, anything that you wanted to be successful at, you just do whatever you can to make it happen. There is no, plan B. You just know you're going to make money at this, and you just do it and you keep doing it.
Wow.
I
There's a
definitely
soundbite right there.
Right. And I definitely feel like I've been at that precipice, or maybe I am still, of like, okay, like, is the ride gonna keep going? Like, am I still upside down?
And I
I'm right here.
remember that
Chick, 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 chick,
conversation.
chick, chick. Is it going to happen? Chick, chick, chick. Where's the time? Yeah.
But I remember that conversation, Mitch, you and I had, and you
Mm-hmm.
still had a full-time job, and you were like, "Oh, I don't want to." And I was like, yeah, I never like to tell it's your life, your business, and I don't know everybody's life, but I always just want to say, just do it, just go for it. And now you're probably going, God, Tanya's the one who told me to go for it. Now my family can't eat. It's all her fault.
My wife pushed me a little bit too, and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, man,
Hey,
Yeah.
SpaghettiOs
insurance
can be a
sounds really nice.
viable meal 5 times a week. I'm just
That's
saying.
true. It is. Yeah, it's only $1 or so.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, when we were having those conversations, there was a time. I just remember this, by the way. It's been almost a year, a couple of years. You gave me a compliment, and I slunk. I don't know how I evolved into, I was so excited about this compliment. We got off the call, and I slunk down into like a chimp form, and I clambered upstairs to Nicole. I don't know why this happened. I went, and I climbed upstairs, and Nicole, I'm like, she said this really nice thing about me, and it was so nice, because like in the sea of the no's, and in the sea of like, I'm emailing agents and not hearing back and everything like that, that one little like night where I got a compliment was like, and it was the odd thing that happened to my body. It was true. That really happened. I
turned you
swung.
into
Physically
chimp.
transformed.
It was weird. My
Because
spine
of
dropped,
that.
my knuckles started dragging, and I climbed upstairs like a chimp. That's what literally happened.
I
So,
thought- yeah, never mind.
no, you say it.
I thought you maybe went to that because you were like carrying your giant testicles up the stairs, like, ha, 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 ha. That's not, that's not
the
a Mike
picture I
thing to
got,
say.
dude.
When you
I'm
said
so
what you
red
did,
now.
that's the
It's-
picture I got.
It's so hot in here now.
Got upstairs to your wife, slumped them down on the table.
Yeah. I'm a man now. And maybe that was it. You know, maybe.
Testosterone. Anyway,
Maybe that's a metaphor.
so yeah, segue into. I had one more question for you, Tanya, and it has to do with being an agent. So we all know, kind of the surface things, right? You have clients that need voices. You have roster that needs jobs, and you hook them together, and then people submit auditions to you, or through, and then you evaluate and you give your top whatever to the client, and they pick, and everybody's happy, and someone gets a job. What are some of the things other than like the mundane things also that you talked about? Is there something, something really cool or something different that people don't know that happens behind the scenes as an agent? That like if you guys don't realize, but I do this for you every day or whatever. I could be way off base and maybe there isn't anything, but I'm just curious.
That's
Dude, you
that's a
got
good.
killer questions today.
Yeah, you're stumping me on this one. I mean, a lot of it is to do with relationships, both on the client side and the talent side. So there is a lot of time that we spend, nurturing both sides, whether it be lunching with clients or, you know, schmoozing in that way, which sounds great, not so great all the time, same on the talent side. As much as I love getting together with talent, it is still like, okay, I gotta, being on all the time is very difficult for me personally. I have a really, really short social battery. And so it's like,
Are we coming up on that now?
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
One
We got
zero
got two
Dodgers
more
right now.
minutes before I melt. Oh, no more. No, it's a lot of that, like doing. I like them all, the little pieces, but I think putting them all together, it can be a lot. And I think that also keeping the talent happy and the clients happy, who both have very different, agendas of what they want, can be really hard. And I think the real hard part for me is I have to have almost two personalities. I have to be very stern, aggressive, and some will say a bitch, because that's been brought
Okay.
up a lot,
All right.
to clients, because my job is to get the best deal possible for my talent. And they don't want to hear that, right? So I have to be really like, I have to be very aggressive. Then on the other side, I have to be nurturing to talent. And it is really hard. And I had this conversation with a talent who was having some issues with me being a little bit blunt or uh, short I can be. Not as nurturing as you say, but it's really hard to turn that switch to all day be going, no, no, you need to do more. You need to do this. Da, da, da. Oh, yes, you're so good. Like to make that switch is super hard.
You're
And
a
I said,
mom.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
100% a mom to these people.
yeah,
Right.
Because that's
maybe.
what a mom has to do, right?
I have to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And
And you
sometimes it's
have
really
to pump them
hard to be
up.
both.
Yeah.
To be the
I
bad guy,
think
but also be the nice guy. It doesn't always,
You're good cop and
but
bad cop all rolled into
yeah,
one.
yeah.
yeah.
But this is why I surround myself and my team with people who can do what I can't do. So I have, I have the yes people on my team who are very good at listening to talent and what their issues are and stuff like that. And I'm more the client facing, so I have to be more aggressive. So when I know that I can't be that nurturing, that I go to the other people on my team and say like, can you handle this? Because I'm not going to be nice.
Okay. I have noticed people who deal with talent are very pat on the bottom. Very like, such a, some flowery words are used that I'm like, I wasn't the most extraordinary you've heard all week. I mean, maybe I was that day, but like sometimes, yeah, well, us talent, we can be a little, we need that, don't we?
You're
We
very
need our,
Yeah.
needy.
Yeah, we
I
need our
tend to be
feathers
though. I
fluffed.
mean, yeah, I love it when someone gives me a really good. I love it when I can have a workout with Tanya Buchanan or with Courtney Lynn or with Tim Powers or with whoever, David Rosenthal, and come out of it and have them say that was fantastic. I really like what you did there. Good job. Yay! I'm 55 years old and I still feel like gold stars give me happy face.
Hmm.
But I also appreciate being kicked in the butt sometimes. I also really appreciate a coach that can go, you could have done that better. And here's what you need to do, because it helps me to actually improve and not just be like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to coast. I want to constantly be on that upward trajectory. And in order to do so, you really need people who are going to be real with you.
I
And
agree.
so,
And I think that and that's, but you got to find what works for you. For me, that's exactly what I like to do in coaching. There's no point in me telling you that that was amazing and you're really good if it's not. That's not helping you. That is not helping you. But some people need it. But then I kind of feel like if you need that, maybe this isn't the best business for you because you got to have a thick skin. So I recently just had somebody actually that I met through GBAA, and I've been working with them outside, doing some mentoring and stuff like that. And he sent me some auditions, and I really struggled because I had to basically tell him they sucked. They were not good. And I didn't want to like hurt this poor guy's feelings, but at the same time, I just struggle with like, if I tell him that they're good, I'm not helping him. So I prefaced my email with that. And I basically said, I really want you to take this with the intent that I mean it. And that is, I think you can do better. And these aren't competitive in today's market, and here's why, and da da da. And I think if you did this, and this, you'd improve, right? But it was a really difficult thing for me because I have had incidents in coaching and everything else that people don't take that well, but it is my style. Like I just can't be inauthentic. I can't tell somebody that they're great when they're not. It just gives me the ick. That's what you get when you get me, I
yeah.
guess.
Well, and like you said, if people can't take the criticism, then you're probably not in the wrong business or you're not in the right business.
That's true. As a friend, because I'm not a coach, but as a friend, sometimes you're listening to auditions, and as an acquaintance, sometimes people are sending auditions to a group or whatever, and like I don't know some of these people very well. Yeah, I'm not getting paid to do it. I feel like getting paid to do it makes it a little easier to be like, I'm helping you. Like
Yeah.
this. It hurts me more than it hurts you to tell you that these suck. Yeah, that seems freeing almost to be able to really, because that is nurturing. Telling
Yeah.
someone that they need to be
Well, and
better
that's
is
that's one of the
nurturing.
things. I mean, Mitch and I we don't do it as often as we should, but we've bounced things off of each other before and have been able to be real with each other and be like, "That's good." However, or yeah, I don't think you got that right. And we know that it comes from a place of love because we love each other. We're good pals, and we know we're just trying to help each other. So it does help when you have that kind of relationship. But when it's coming from just a coach that you got in there for the first time or with them or like Mitch was saying, just in a random group chat or whatever. Yeah, some people, I can see people taking that the wrong way. But again, going back to, you got to have a thick skin, and you got to realize that you're not all that. You're never going to be all that. You need to continue to improve, and the only way to do that
And
is
be
to get,
humble.
yeah, be humble
I'll
and be
tell you, that's
directable
something
and
that a
all the
lot of
things.
voice actors like really miss you know, and I get how you would get there because we're entertainment. Everybody's like, yes, we're but you're really the last piece of the puzzle when it comes, especially commercial and stuff like that. With how things are now, you are so irreplaceable. Nobody, I don't care who you are, is not, there's always somebody behind you that's gonna, I mean, I dare say Morgan Freeman is replaceable. But even at that level, like there's other choices, there's other things. So I think that the being having a little bit of humility is important, and knowing your place in the puzzle. Because I have had people go, well, no, I'm only available from 2 to 4, and I'm like, well, they will just go with someone else. It's not, so a
Yeah.
little humility goes a long way.
All right,
And
it's
I
time
like to
for
think, I mean, I hope what's going to get me over that hump someday is my directability. I feel like, I mean, every time I've been in a one-on-one, in a workout session, in a directable situation, uh, I get that feedback. I am directable, and people appreciate that. And so I hope that as I start getting more jobs and as word goes around about who Mike Pelletier is, that's going to be one of the things that follows me, is that this guy is directable, and so he's easy to work with.
And I think it is. And Mike, that's a really good point because we were talking to a casting director really recently, and we were talking about just that and about once you make, and it is a business of relationships. It is who you know. Even today, but once you get in that, they keep hiring the same people a lot of the time because they know that they're directable. They
Mm-hmm.
know that that if all of a sudden the client comes in the room and says, yeah, we've totally changed gears and we're going to do it this way, that they can switch you up, right? And that they won't have trouble doing that. So I think that for sure is key to a
Yeah.
long career.
And I mean, I've had basically the same piece of advice from two different people. It's the same thing basically. I mean, Tim Powers, his big thing is don't be an asshole. Jen Henry, who I met at One Voice this year, her big thing is don't be a dick. It goes to the same thing. You got to want them to want you back in the room. Anyway,
And can I just add to that real quick? You don't have that capability when you're first auditioning and stuff. How do you do that? Like before, when you were in studio, you're shaking hands with the casting director. You're maybe having a chat and like getting a relationship going with them. You don't have that anymore. So you have to find as a talent, how do you build that? And the biggest way is when you talk about, being directable, as I always talk about having range in your auditions, and Mitch has heard me say this a million times at the agency, is making sure that your takes sound different because even when you're self-taping, if they can hear that you can do different things, that gives them a lot more confidence than if you send an audition that two takes sound exactly the same. That will scare them because then it'll be like, oh shoot, if the casting director or the client changes their mind and we got to do everything else, can this guy do it? Can this guy do it? And a follow up to that, making those relationships. The other way to do it is go to events. Go to, not even if you can't afford going to conferences and things like that, building relationships. I will hire way more or bring people on as talent onto my roster that I've built a relationship with by meeting them somewhere else. I remember them, as opposed to just random emails that I get. Not saying that I don't, add people that are random, but it does go way further. Have building a relationship with people
yeah.
outside of that.
I'll be in Toronto soon. I'm just, I don't know. I don't know
I
if
would like.
that's.
You're
I was
already
in
on the
Canada,
roster,
but I was
dude.
way over on the
Yeah.
coast, so I did
I want
not
to be a
get near.
favorite though. I can't just be on the roster. That's like not enough now.
Yeah,
I need
we
a
want to be your
challenge.
favorite.
I'm gonna ask Mike's question. Sort of. This is sort of last question. Get ready for it. So I know that your goal now probably isn't to become the voice of was the Oscars you said. That may not be on the table for you anymore, unless it is. Is okay. Is is it now sort of nurturing the next person to do X, Y, Z? Is it now like having someone under your wing that finally gets their dream job? What is that big thing for you? Having a roster of 1,000, you know everyone by name. Like, what could it be?
Uh, 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 I'm always looking for new challenges, so I never say they end. But for me, um, I've just started a not-for-profit, which is the Canadian Association of Voice Actors, which
Yay,
is the Canadian version of the National
Nava,
Association of
right?
Voice Actors, and that's exactly what that is and was for me when I started that, is the ability to take all of the work as an agent and all the things that I've done to really give back to the community and be able to sort of take that all and in a ball and put it in a foundation in a not-for-profit so that when I'm long gone, that sort of lives on. That I can actually go back and say, all of all those hours that I put in, non-paid, just doing all this stuff, it made an impact. That I will be fighting for talent, hopefully, with this foundation for years and years and years to come, even it's well after me, that I've built something that will continue to do that.
That's noble. That's,
Bravo.
yeah.
Bravo.
Almost.
Thank you for that.
Hello. Yeah.
I know I'm not Canadian, but thank you for that for fellow voice actors who are.
Yeah.
Well, and we're not just for Canadians. We have Americans part of CAVA because it's for those who want to explore the Canadian industry and the Canadian.
So
do you
those who
want
are
to
involved
work
in the
in
Canadian
Canada?
market.
Do you want to work in Canada?
Gotcha. Okay, so it is then.
Because you will meet
Cool.
Canadian, casting directors and all those people who are part of our board and stuff. But
Cool.
yeah, it really is that. And yes, the agency is, I love the fact I want it to forever. I don't know when that's going to end. If it ends, I don't know. But I know that I feel that Cava is my swan song.
So there will be like a fountain, like a bronze fountain, or like a statue, or something.
Will you be
that
doing
would
this
have
and
work
done?
on
water
that?
spitting out of your
Are you
mouth?
working on that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm like collecting different precious metals for that exact reason.
Pennies. He's collecting pennies.
Yeah, I'm collecting old
What
pennies.
I paid you.
Yeah, he's gonna
paid
melt
you
them
out
down.
Is what,
Yeah. 1982 or older. I know already. There's plenty of pennies for you.
All right. Well, we've reached that point in the show, Mitch. Are we going to do the thing?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Maybe we should just like leave it to be seen. Like we'll say it's going to happen or it won't, and then like
decide after.
Will it?
decide where we're at.
Well,
Or you
there is
can
a
just
possibility
I can
then.
leave. I have a game to
No,
watch.
no,
so I
no,
can
no.
leave. You
It's
guys
not
do it.
happening.
No.
You're gonna be.
I promise you don't want to look at the game right now.
Don't
I do.
say anything.
No, but I mean, my thought, because Tanya did not want to, she's no longer a voice actor. So we kind of came up with, hey, we have an agent in the room. Maybe Mitch and I can do something and she can critique us. So maybe that's going to happen right now. If not, it's just going to end abruptly and that'll be that.
Be weird. Yeah.
But we're going to do what we do and pause the thing and see if we can write something cool to come back and have fun with.
Bye?
All right.
Wow.
We're back. When we hit pause, the Dodgers were up 2-0. Now we're coming back, and the Blue Jays are up 3-2. What do you know?
And guess what?
And guess what?
We got a script called Field of Screams, Zombies
Yes.
at Bat. That's a
It's
two for
baseball flavored, but with dead things.
Exactly. You guys might not know this, but Halloween's on Friday. I don't know about Canadian Halloween. You guys do things weird up there, but down here.
Is it like
About the
Canadian
same.
Thanksgiving? Did you have Halloween in like July or something?
The dead rise on a different day up there. Maybe because it's colder. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the ground's frozen.
Ground's
they can't
too
get out of
frozen for the dead to rise.
All right.
All right. Field of Screams, Zombies at Bat.
You smell that? Smells like hot dogs and existential dread. Oh, that's just your Armageddon. It's been rotting since the Nixon administration. Adds flavor. You want a bite? No, hard pass. I only eat live flesh.
Oh.
The necromancer says we're back to beat the Dodgers. Beat them? I can barely reattach myself. Yeah, you are really falling apart, man. I mean, literally, your ears on the floor there. Yeah, well, at least I'm consistent. My swing's been on the mound since warm-ups. Look at that thing. For crying out loud, Grubs, I told you to use duct tape. Not hope. I did. Hope just smells better. Yeah, okay, all right. Let's focus. Yeah. You pitch, I'll catch. Well, you sure? You've got one hand and half a torso. Yeah, details. Just aim for the mitt. You mean the hand that's crawling toward the outfield right now? Yeah, that's fine. I'll improvise. Okay, here goes nothing. For crying out loud. Your arm fell off again. Oh, good. Saves me the trouble of throwing, right? Oh, goodness sakes, you're hopeless. Just give me the ball. You mean this thing that's like screaming? Well, if it screams, throw it harder. The Dodgers look terrified. That's just the smell of your rotting flesh, buddy. Strike one. That was your arm, you idiot. That was not the ball. Still counts. Your arm again. No. Hey, Grubs. Yeah. Listen, I'm wondering, do you think that after all this is said and done and we beat the Dodgers, we'll get to rest in peace after this? Nah. Necromancer signed us for eternity. Great. Do you think they have snacks? Yeah, well, just them brains and stale popcorn. It figures. I'll have the brains, I guess. Yeah. You know what? Yep. I'm really getting attached to this team. Yeah, well, I'm not. My leg just joined the outfield. No. Oh. Well, go get it. We're up next inning. Fine, but if I start losing parts again, I swear to them. Just say you're shedding weight for the playoffs. Oh, I hate how that actually makes sense. Right? Welcome to the undeath, buddy. Batter up. Oh, there went your kneecap.
Well.
Oh my God, I've watched this show.
Yeah?
There you go. Let's develop it.
Please. I feel like I could picture that really well. I don't know why. Maybe it was your jaw
it's got to
falling.
be like crazy animation. Yeah.
Yeah. Just gory like Ren and Stimpy, perhaps, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Too many
100%
close-ups.
Yeah. Just with the sound effects when things fall off your body. Boink.
Boink.
Oh, there goes my arm again.
Lots of splattering. Yeah.
Oh,
That's great.
very clever.
This was a Tanya Mike baby, by the way.
Yeah, Mitch had to leave, and so Tanya and I started talking about baseball and came up with it.
Amazing.
But so give us your critique, Tanya. What do you think?
See, this is where I decide how honest and authentic do I need to be?
Oh, yeah.
be 100% be honest and
I
authentic.
think that, in all honesty, I think that it was so fun to listen to, and this is what I love most, is I can always tell when actors are having fun, regardless. See, the thing about voiceovers, I normally can't see you. I have to just hear you, and I could hear the fun, and I could hear the passion out of it, which is half the battle. Some small tweaks I'd say is, it's interesting because at one point, and it's usually just on a few words here, Mitch took on Mike's characteristics and Mike took on Mitch's characteristics in the voice. Like your voice came down a little bit, Mitch, and it got a little gruffer. And Mike's went up a little bit and got more into like it and it was only like a few words here and there. So
maybe
I'd
we're
say
sharing
that,
some body parts. They've gotten put on the wrong.
No, you
excuses,
meant to do that, right?
Yeah, totally.
And I think you both need to be really careful of losing your words for the sake of the performance, right? You still, especially with when you're just listening to audio, I have to understand what you're saying. And there's a few times that I mean, you guys are looking at the script, so it sounds like or I'm, not. And so I don't, there were a couple of times I'm like, what did he say? I totally missed it in the gruffness or in the and then the only other thing I said, Mitch, you need to be real careful because the one thing I love about what you do, and it's so important, is that you use your hands and you use your body.
Oh, yeah.
But to the detriment of not keeping your face straight because you need to be on mic. you know, whether we're just doing this for fun, right? But if you were doing this for a real thing, your face can't move.
Right.
The body can move, but you have to learn to keep your face relatively close in one set. And I looked at you a couple times. You were all over the place, right? Which is good because it builds character, right? But you need to like just bring that in without bringing the energy in, or like still having that crazy energy but not moving your head around a lot, because that might be a reason why you lose words or things like that, right? So I think that if you practice even just the physicality of voiceover, you still like love this. And this is so important. And there's actually you can actually look back to as scientific as I guess you can get with voiceover, but your energy actually does leave your fingertips and so using your hands and things like that is so important to bring energy to a read. So I always encourage everybody to, and Mike, you were doing it too. You were using your hands, but Mike's face was staying relatively the same. You were just a little bit
everywhere
and that. So I just want you to be careful of that.
Sure.
And then just both of you just be really, and it would be different if you were doing this, like rehearsing it a lot of times and stuff like that. You'd be able to, but there was a couple times, like I said, you fell out of your own character and switched bodies for just a second.
I feel like this happens a lot, especially with accents.
Yeah. But then, but again, and Mitch, you and I have talked about this stuff. You want whoever's listening to this to be having fun. There's, especially if you're talking, and of course my expertise is commercial more, but even with commercial, like everybody wants to join a party that people are having fun. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know. So the fact that you're having fun makes me want to listen more. And so whatever it is, I don't even care if it's a morose copy of something, whatever, you have to be passionate about it in some way. You have to find some way to really be interested, because the more you're interested in it, the more I'm interested in it. So I think that was the key for you guys, and I think that was your huge selling point with that whole thing, is I just wanted to join your party.
Cool. Next time we'll have
thanks
you
for
join.
the honest feedback.
Yeah.
And that was a cool little wrinkle. We don't normally get that at the end of the chat GPT.
As in,
well,
never.
That was fun. All right, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate the free feedback.
Really, very much appreciate it.
Yeah. We'll pay you later. Venmo. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have Venmo in Canada.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Take check.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The Canada Post isn't delivered.
They'll send it with Kevin Costner on horseback.
There you go.
Old reference?
All right.
Fine.
Well, we have taken up far too much of your time, but we have enjoyed every minute of it. So thank you, Tanya, for being on the show with us. Really appreciate you coming in and getting to talk to you again. Hey, and actually getting to talk to you and not just act at you and have you coach me, even though that's what you just did at the end there.
Yep. It happened.
It was fun.
All right.
Anytime, guys.
Go Blue
Anytime?
Jays?
All right. What are we doing next week?
Yeah. I mean, we are going to hang out all the time. Shoot. She's not busy.
All right. Awkward goodbyes, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Oh.
Hey, 2 hands.